of citizens. Being a service to the people, the department we established then in Lagos was called the Office of the Public Defender, a concept we borrowed from the United States. This brought a lot of succor to thousands of Nigerians who couldn't afford legal representations or who couldn't pay their lawyers. Since then, many other states in Nigeria have replicated the Lagos model, from improving the remuneration of judges to enforcing discipline, among other key reforms in the judiciary. I was privileged to lead key government initiatives that positively impacted millions of Nigerians. This included the National Social Investment Program, which the Office of the Vice President supervised in 2016 and 2019. Now, after 2019, all of that changed. And also the Economic Sustainability Plan, which was the post-COVID economic intervention of the Nigerian government. Both programs recorded significant successes in providing succor for millions of citizens as well as small businesses. I was part of the team which developed the social investment program of the immediate past administration as a multifaceted approach to spur wealth creation, human capacity development, and poverty alleviation. It was also an honor to lead the implementation of the social investment program as vice president between 2016 and 2019. And I'm sure that you guys are aware of the national and the international accolades that the program generated when the vice president was running it between 2016 and 2019. The social investment program was also the first of its kind in the history of Nigeria and is regarded as the most impactful social welfare program in the entire sub-Saharan Africa. We were able to improve the livelihood of the most vulnerable citizens through programs such as the conditional cash transfer, a component that reached about 9 million poor and vulnerable households and positively impacted about 30 million individuals directly and indirectly across the country. There was also the trader money, market money schemes under the SIP that also had millions of Nigerians as beneficiaries, from petty traders to artisans and MSMEs. But the challenge here was that these kinds of initiatives needed to be consistent and to be prolonged in order for it to produce the desired level of transformation. In 2020, in response to the fallout of the COVID-19 pandemic, as the vice president, I chaired the Economic Sustainability Committee, which birthed the plan. The committee then implemented a plan that cushioned the economic effects of the pandemic. Through the implementation of the plan, which had different programs, including MSME Survivor Fund, about 2 million jobs were saved and created. The significant role of the decisive leadership in crisis management and recording greater impact in public management of people and resources cannot be overstated. More importantly, the principles of good governance, effective public policy, and impactful public management are more than just abstract concepts. They are transformative tools that hold the power to influence positive changes and shape our societies. Integrity, compassion, and the passion for public good should be at the heart of public service. Impactful public management is not about just structures, but it's about creating systems and processes that influence change, that fosters collaboration, and that places social welfare and well-being of citizens at the core of its operation. This helps to improve society and build a nation where there are endless possibilities to unleash the potential of its youth and citizenry for national development. As Nigerian youth, you have the advantage of a connected globe with a great advance in technology, and to harness your immense potential to drive changes desired in society. You can do this, and you can do more by being involved in your community, even at the world level, all the way to the local government, the states, and the federal levels. Wherever you are, like Mahatma Gandhi once said, you should be the change that you desire. The power to inspire change through personal drive and effective collaboration has ripple effects that can last generations. This is one of the reasons that I co-founded Future Perspectives after I left government as a non-profit organization dedicated to transforming the lives of Nigerians and African youth through interventions geared at delivering systemic, scalable, and sustainable impact. At Future Perspectives, we are convinced that in shaping the future of the world, the voices of Africa's youth must be prominently woven into every global conversation, and their participation will not only create a profound impact within the region, but also bring forth invaluable perspectives on the global stage. By providing Africa's youth a seat at the table, utilizing their collective power and equipping them with the necessary knowledge, skills, and tools, we are poised to unleash the incredible change that our continent yearns for. Mr. Julius Ilori, the newly appointed YALI president, is an alum of Future Perspectives, and he has benefited from the capacity building, entrepreneurial, and leadership initiatives of the organization. We will continue with the mission to see young Nigerians take advantage of resources offered and to give back to their communities. In summary, public management must be driven by public interest. Social justice must be at the heart of governance. Collaboration is key, as no one or one institution can do it alone. And finally, the world is waiting, and the world is at the beck and call of young people like yourselves. There is no such thing as impossible for a young person. You can do it if you can imagine it. Young Nigerians are the very best of us. Their reservoir of hope and creative optimism is all we need. Your boundless drive, energy, and creativity are vital for Nigeria's development and prosperity. And so whatever situation you find yourself, don't forget that we move and we keep moving. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you so much,
Thank you very much,
Excellency.
Your Excellency.
Thank you so much.
One thing is for sure, Nigeria would never, never forget Professor Yemi Osibanjo, Senior Advocate of Nigeria. Thank you so much, Mr. Laolu Akande, for that speech by the former Vice President.
And you
Thank
also
you once
forgot to
again.
mention the Senior Advocate of the people, also of Nigeria, especially the youth, because Osibanjo has always been at the forefront of championing the cause of youth in Nigeria. Thank you so
And
much.
something we always appreciate. We hope that he would constantly give us these platforms, like to address us intermittently, former Vice President or not. Thank you once again.
Thank you so much, sir. All right, so let's move forward at this point in time. We're bringing in on board, but before we bring in for that speech, at this point, we'll be bringing in Farida Yahya for a brief speech. All right. So, thank you so much for that.
Thank you so much for that.
All right, so
A topic, and you would join that breakout session. Thank you so
and
much.
don't also forget that after the breakout section, we'll be coming out with the gift. And I told you 10 people will be leaving this auditorium today with the sum of. Let me keep it at that. Thank
With
you
a
so much.
sum of. I like that. He's becoming a politician.
Thank you so much. All protocols duly observed. I think my name is Tajuddin Yahya, the CEO of Extension Africa. And I think a lot of you here may not actually know me, but I would want to ride on the existing, the last speech from the representative of His Excellency, Professor Yemi Osibajo, to look at the potential of we as Nigerians. I think I have a very small time to talk, so I'll try to just wrap up. But what I want to say is when we talk about entrepreneurship, a lot of times we keep thinking about business, business, business. And one thing that we really need to understand is that the first product you're selling is you yourself. And every entrepreneurship has to start with you before you start with the product. Because you always sell what you have. You cannot sell what you don't have. Now, if you're thinking about entrepreneurship or starting a business, why not start by looking at yourself as the business and sell yourself? Now, I was at the back since. I like actually sitting at the back to just see a lot of things. And I think during this session, I looked through on my left, and I could see every person on the line was actually looking at his phone and just typing, right? It's okay to actually just go through your phone, but I think moments like these are very, very precious. The kind of people you connect with here are also very precious. So in terms of looking at yourself as a product, which I said, I'll share with you my own journey of thinking of myself as a product before setting up Extension Africa. Now, Nigeria is hard. Everybody knows that. And if you're expecting it to be rosy, that is where it gets more difficult, right? So starting out in my career as an entrepreneur that I think I am today, my first issue was how do I identify myself as the first product? So I started by learning. And I would want to just, if within what I will be saying, there are three things you just hold on to, which is the 3 steps that I think changed my life. And it's 1, grow your mind. 2, push yourself. And 3, take the lead. These are the 3 key words that actually shaped my thinking right from the beginning. Now, I'll talk about grow your mind. It's easy to think that we are the embodiment of our certificates. Now, when I ask you, who are you, the first thing you say is, I'm a graduate of. But that is actually, in essence, to be honest, like a paper that represents your achievement. But who are you personally defines how you sell yourself. So in entrepreneurship, the first product you have to see is me, myself, I'm the product. And if I come to sell myself, I need to sell what I believe. I can't remember where I kept my certificate, but I'm just going to put a disclaimer. If you're really going to rely on that certificate for far too long, it might actually leave you poor. So the first is you need to grow your mind, learn as much as you can. And I think there are so many books that shaped my life. We have books on, I don't know how many of you here have read the book by Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad, Poor Dad? How many of you have read book Rich Dad, Poor Dad? I think a lot of us have, which is really nice. That is one of the books that actually gave me like a factory reset to understand that I have to work on myself first before setting out with anything that I need to do. Now, reading is one of the things that I think would really help you to define who you are and what your skills are that you can sell. Now, remember, I didn't say your certificates. I'm talking about your skills. Now, when you understand your skill, my own personal skill is the fact that I like to connect the dots, and I'm very passionate about my community. Now, so very early, I thought about so many problems. One of the problems back there in Kano is the problem of divorces. So I thought about how do we solve the problem of divorces in Kano State. If you know Kano, you know how the population is. But it's also surprising that divorces is on the rise. So my business solution then was that can we build a vocational institute that allow divorced women to go and study something, maybe fashion, whatever it is they can actually do to actually make their life meaningful. Now, that is a product that came out of me understanding the fact that this is the skill I have in connecting the dots. I didn't talk about my certificates. I didn't talk about the fact that I'm a graduate of animal science, right? It's really about myself as a product. Now, I started that idea of using fashion to change divorces in Kano, which really wasn't too successful, right? But eventually led me to my first breakthrough startup, which was APS then. And that was really about how of the problem of unemployment. And I thought that as graduates of agriculture, the worst thing that actually faces people like us is that we don't have job opportunities. You're either a farmer or a researcher if you study agriculture. And I thought, can we transform agriculture to agripreneurship and bring in business concepts into agriculture where you can be a poultry farmer, a livestock farmer, and make some ends. Now, this is me thinking through my strength as a product and looking at what I can use those skills to do. Now, eventually, that startup did not really run, and now we have another product called Extension Africa. Now, the beautiful thing about Extension Africa is it still came up from the opportunity that I see, and I'm not going to talk about problems in Nigeria. If you actually follow me on LinkedIn, I don't talk about problems. I talk about solutions. So what I see there was unemployment, and our farmers were not producing enough, and I thought we could do Extension Africa and we could solve that. We built Extension Africa in 2021, and today we have over 500,000 farmers who are being served by over 2,000 extension agents across 14 states. Right? So, and when we started, we had no idea what we wanted to do. So it's okay if you don't understand a lot of things. It's okay if you actually don't even know what your next step is. The only thing that you need to do is, one, you grow your mind and understand your skills. The next thing you do is you push yourself to do something. Now, if you decide to start a business, the first focus is not about making money. The first focus is, who is my customer and how do I serve that customer? Now, a lot of times we go into business thinking about, maybe I know how to sew, I'm a fashion designer, I know how to make clothes, and I just think of people. When I see people, I actually think of what they wear, and I just make for them. But the thing you need to understand is, what kind of fashion are your customers interested in? Are they classic customers? Are they normal customers? And how can you provide them with the kind of comfort in terms of clothes they wear to project the kind of people they want to be? So the idea about entrepreneurship is thinking of problems first and coming up with a solution that you think can solve the problem. Now remember that I say you think can solve a problem, because when it comes to business, a lot of times what we think is the solution is not the solution. Now, you need to first start by looking at the customer, understanding their problem, providing that solution, and testing how your customers use the problem, use your solution. Now, based on their feedback, you get to tweak your business over time to fit your product. So there's what we call product market fit. Now, the first thing is, if you're the product and your market is about civic entrepreneurship or social impact, now you need to understand, are you the perfect fit for the market? Are you socially concerned about those problems in your society? Or are you just paying lip service to it? If you're paying lip service to it, you won't last long, because once you do it 1-2 days, you're not making money, you step out. But if you're socially concerned about problems in our society, you actually can go into the civic space and maybe just something like that. But the fact that you have passion towards that actually would allow you to push forward. Now, when you grow your mind and you take the next step of think of yourself first as the product solving a problem through a particular channel. It could be NeoCloud that we have, for example. It could be Extension Africa that is your channel. Whatever it is we're doing today, all we're doing is solving a problem. If you focus fanatically on your customer and serve that customer, you will make money. But if you focus on the money, you would lose on the customer, find what their pain points are, solve those pain points, and think of a business solution around it. But you have to learn, read as much as you can. I read like so many books, I can't count how many I've read. But you read, after you read, you push yourself, then you take the lead. And I think if you take this 3-step, there's a lot I can tell, but we don't have that time. We can actually follow up online. I can always create time to talk with you on what you're doing. But I think this 3-step, as it shaped my own life, would also shape your life. And as you push forward to building the kind of Nigeria that we want to have, I wish you all the best. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for that round of applause. Like he said, you can continue the conversation after now. You can meet him up. We've talked about network. And this is an opportunity to indeed network. Another round of applause for him.
And like I said earlier on, if you're not collecting phone numbers right now as you're seated, then you're not collecting phone numbers, you're not networking, you're not talking. That means you're doing a very wrong thing. YALI is about partnership, it's about networking, it's about your frontiers for business. Please ensure that's what you're doing. Collect as many phone numbers as possible, collect as many contacts as possible, collect as many cards as possible.
And intelligently engage. Please.
Intelligently be engaged. Intelligently be engaged. Say it properly.
I did not say be engaged. I said intelligently engage.
Intelligently be engaged. There's an engagement.
So at this moment, I would like to call on Head YALI Network Nigeria to do justice to acknowledging our partners. A round of applause for
Mr. Daniel Black.
This time I'm not asking you to give him a round.
Why are we shouting? YALI. All right, thank you so much. Thank you to our amazing compares. Just want to use this opportunity to just specially recognize most of our partners in the house. Like was announced here, there's going to be a raffle draw, and 10 people are to be going home with. Probably it might increase, but to the extent of my knowledge, 5,000 naira transport reimbursement. That is going to be after the breakout session. The breakout session is aimed at, you have heard a lot, right? So we are going to break out into the civic leadership, the public management, and of course, entrepreneurship. And then the key focus of the breakout session is to say, after all we have heard, what are the actionable points to create impact in my area of sphere? So you cannot just hear here. We also need to get your feedback. You're going to have to put it down, come to a consensus, bring out about 5 actionable points, and then we'll, of course, know that we have created impact. For the raffle draw, we have partners that are sponsoring. We have Honorable Benjamin Omodu in the house. Honorable Benjamin Omodu, during the breakout session, we'll bring them up to say a word or two. We have Ambassador Godwell Odogun in the house. Please, can you just wave for recognition? And of course, the leader of the team that has brought this powerful men to us, Ambassador Monigo Alvin, DJ Moore. Sorry, I hope I did not murder that name. The CEO of Ali's Oil and Gas, Alihas Oil and Gas Limited, and also the chairman of Alihas Football Club. We are going to hear a little more about them. And of course, my money points. Thank you so much, Chidima. Thank you so much. We have heard a lot about them, and I believe that as you leave today, you'd get to know better ways to interface with them. And I want to thank you, sir, Mr. Lolu Akande, representative of the former Vice President of Nigeria. I really, really appreciate you. Sir, let me just say this out loud. So, due to miscommunication, I was aware that you came in yesterday because of our miscommunication, and today you graciously came back. I sincerely appreciate you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So, we will just go around for a 20 minutes breakout session, and it will be moderated by our speakers. You said? Okay, so the MCs want to do that. Yeah, I just needed to recognize these guests, and then we go for the breakout session. We come back, have our raffle draw, and then call it a wraps for the day. Thank you so much.
The problem with YALI is that YALI is too impactful. Mr. Blackie wants to continue the impact, even to do the impactful work of the MCs. That's okay. Please, at this point, please, we'll be breaking out at this point to various sections. Like we said before, please, leadership to this side, entrepreneurship to the middle. Please, leadership to this side. Leadership to this side, please. YALI Network. YALI Network. All right, please, we'll be breaking out. We'll be breaking out. I will do this for just 15 minutes. We have 15 minutes. We'll reconvene again, please. We'll be breaking out at this point. You're to this side. So if you're here, it means you want to learn the strategies on how to manage the public. If you're here, you're a public manager.